Hello and welcome this fine morning, everybody. My name is Lee Beatty, and I just came in from outside wearing my little fuzzy hat, my little, just taking advantage of the beautiful sun. I want to show you guys. I'm over here. I'm outside Detroit, Michigan, wearing my little Detroit, Michigan shirt. And you know what? I'm really excited to bring you this presentation today. Actually, yesterday and the day before, I've spent answering some questions about, really some of the differences in, going from being a internet marketing newbie or technician, as you will, to making that transition to a marketing business owner or seasoned veteran, and what are the differences and how can you bridge the gap. First, before I get into that, for those of you who don't know my story, I've been marketing online for over 7 years, and the reason why I'm going to talk about this today is I'm an absolute. This is really personal to me, and I just truly believe that it needs to be expanded upon. Only because I really suffered from what the differences of what I'm going to speak about today. Now, what does that mean? So when I first started online, I was a technophobe. I was somebody who had a really technical job, but working on the internet was very technical to me, and I didn't necessarily embrace all those changes only because of this. Okay, let me just tell you why. I worked in an industry where if you make a mistake, it can cost not only your company, the customer you're working at, and potentially their end product, millions of dollars. Okay, if you make a mistake or if you do something wrong and it's not done properly, it could eventually affect the whole product line. I was in a semiconductor for well over 10 years in different capacities, and so when I started online, I had this fear that if I did something wrong, I could break it. And that's really what I took into internet marketing. And this is what's going to really resonate for a lot of you today, because a lot of you who are really trying to figure out, what do I need to do online? How do I need to get there? And how do I start to have successes and become this business owner? Well, I'm going to explain the differences today, and you can learn from my faults along the way. You can learn from what I did wrong for well over 5 years. Even though I had a staff, I had people working for me, I had all these things, and folks, eventually what happened was I nixed all that. I just said, something. I realized I was a technician in my business, and even though like today it's a funny looking hat, it's a golf hat actually. But what I wanted to do was provide you all with some insight that allow you to, potentially look at things very differently and how you can do it. And notice business owner versus technician tag down here for marketing online. And for those of you who don't know who I am, that's one of the things I represent. ShareBeat. ShareBeat is what you more than likely are going to be watching it from on this channel. So do me a favor, so we can avoid all of this. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel above, and I'm going to do my best to come inform you. All right, so we're getting all that out of the way. So let's get to it. Okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference in a technician versus a business owner in your business, in your internet marketing business? Well, the first is this. Let me ask you this question. Is your background in internet marketing or marketing for that matter? Second question is, do you know how to code? Do you know what PHP, HTML? Do you know how to literally get in and work in a cPanel? You said no to that. I didn't either. I didn't know what any of that stuff was. I didn't have a marketing background. I told you I had an engineering, technical kind of background, but it wasn't in marketing. It wasn't anything that had to do with web development, things like that. Third question is, what is ROI? What is your advertising budget? What is your demographic? I threw a whole lot of questions at you, but more importantly, when you're looking to market online, who is your target market? Who is your demographic? If that doesn't make any sense to you right now, then you're going to be glad that you actually joined in on this, because the difference in wanting to really take that next step and become a business owner really takes a true mindset, and really understanding what your role is and where you want to go and how you want to get there. Okay, so first off, if you answered no, I don't know, and you know, even if you answered, I don't know what any of that stuff is, then that's good. So, folks, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but when I first started online, you know, a lot of things were very different than they are right now. Okay, even though social media was, you know, on the scene, it wasn't necessarily what I would consider to be a mainstay. It wasn't something that was prevalent. That you know, a lot of the people could actually start online and make money for free. Okay, that's not, that's, I mean, a lot of people were doing, you know, the HTML, they're putting these websites up, they were able to drive free traffic, things like that. And when I first started, I didn't know anything like that. I had absolutely zero clue. I had no clue what the heck all that meant. And you know, for those of you that may know, or maybe you don't know, basically what I did was, when I started online, my mindset was this, and this is where you want to probably take a pin out, or you want to take a mental note here, is in your business, in anything that you do, if you are the one doing all of the tasks, or you're trying to learn a task, more than likely you're not going to do it right. Okay. Secondly, you're not going to be able to do things according to what it should look like, what it should be optimized for, and how it's going to maximize its return on investment for you. There's that ROI thing. There's that making money thing. Topic, I guess should be. Guess you would say. The next thing is, and it really helps to really firmly, you know, help you to start understanding the differences in becoming a technician versus a business owner in your business. And there are two very, very different, big differences. Everything I stated to you there, if you're trying to figure out how to do all that, if you're trying to figure out what a squeeze page is, landing page, if you're trying to figure out what an autoresponder is, if you're trying to figure out, you know, hey, do I need this theme? Do I need this hosting? Do I need to mirror this drive? Do I need to back this up? And you don't know and understand what all that means, then let me tell you something, folks. You're a technician right now in your business. If you don't even know and understand what all that is, more than likely, if it's not something that comes easy to you, then what you're doing is you're creating a workflow for you. You're creating work for yourself that you're going to have to learn how to really embrace. Okay, and if you and what that's going to do is, if you're looking at it from a standpoint of profit and loss, right now you're losing, because you're initially, what you're doing is you're committing all your mental resources, all your financial resources to learning all these technical things that you probably don't have a background in. I didn't have a background in it, even though the challenge for me was that, hey, if I can work on these multi-million-dollar pieces of you know, machines inside of a semiconductor industry, then I should be able to do this no problem. And you know what? Because of that mindset, what it did is it forced me to do things in a way that were outside of my comfort zone. It was outside of my scope, if you will. And what it did for me was it created another job. So, you know, at the time when I first started marketing, as you all know, if you don't know my story, I got swindled. I was one of these guys that I spent a lot of money, meaning $15,000. I was told I was sold on a franchise model of building a business online, and I spent $15,000 online. Think about that. $15,000. You know what they did? They handed me a forum. They handed me a couple over-the-shoulder videos, and they handed me some resources and said, here you go. That's what you paid for. That's how I got swindled. And all that stuff was so far over my head. And when I went to talk to these people, they were never available. So long story short, I started out on the wrong, really with the wrong mindset. I started off with the wrong approach. And this is why it's really important for me. This is why I've never done a video like this before. And really why I wanted to do kind of a lecture on this today, really to point out some of these big differences. So everything I talked to you about, I didn't realize that you can outsource that, because for somebody like me in my industry, you know, to hire somebody like me to do the work is very, very expensive. Okay, at the time, you know, you're looking at a level 3, level 4 field service engineer in the semiconductor field. Those billable rates go anywhere between, you know, $350 an hour up to $500 an hour and up. You know, when you get past 5 o'clock, I mean, you're looking at $675, to $800 an hour for hard downs. And you think that's a lot of money, but really it isn't when you consider what I'm working with is multi-million-dollar product lines. Okay, and so what it did, as I'm telling you that, and kind of painting the picture for what I did wrong, folks. You may be in something that's completely different. Maybe you're in something that doesn't require a billable rate to be as high for your services. It doesn't matter whether you're really what I'm trying to demonstrate and point out to you right now is that because I was of that technical level, the things that I was doing, it forced me to think that I had to do things from a technical standpoint, thus becoming a technician in my business. Okay. Now here's the first paradigm shift that I'm going to really start asking you questions. This is going to be an interactive type of video. I want you to answer out loud for yourself. I want you to take notes of this, and I want you to essentially really identify or look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Am I a technician in my business or am I a business owner in my business? Because I'm going to tell you here in a few minutes what's going to be the real difference and what's the determining factor of whether or not you are a technician or you're a business owner in your business. Okay, so saying all that, you understand my experience. So let me ask you, okay, do you understand what hosting is? Do you understand how to back it up? Do you understand what HTML is? Do you understand, what WordPress is? Do you understand what a squeeze page is? Do you understand what, having an autoresponder and how that actually works for you? If you don't, let me tell you why. Okay, with asking that, there's part A to that. Have you tried setting that up and you're having no success? The answer is you probably have failed at it. You have failed at stuff like that. It's not your fault, folks. I'm the first one to tell you right here, right now, it's not your fault. You want to know why? Because your whole life you've been told, hey, if you don't know something, figure it out. Learn more about it. Learn it, and then once you learn it and you master it, you become an expert at it. Folks, don't become an expert at something that you can hire somebody else to do. Excuse me, my nose. This time of year, I guess it's 40, 50 degrees outside, and it's thank goodness it's not like running like a sieve or anything. So that's my first paradigm shift for you. When you're first starting out, like with me, I spent $15,000. Okay, whereas you right now, okay, the channel you're watching this on, whether it be YouTube, Google Plus, and I haven't streamed this live from 22 Social, folks. For those of you who don't know what 22 Social is, 22 Social, in my opinion, is the best mobile and social media based resource I've ever dealt with, and it's very, very simplistic. It's something that you don't have to spend $15,000. You can literally start with $22, and you can get it at $1,000,000tosuccess.com. Okay, you can actually go there right now, or Google 22 Social app review. And you'll see I'm the first video there. Or you just do 22 Social review, and you'll see I'm either the first or second video there out of all those selections. So that's my first ding ding. That's my first. Hey, if you're actually doing that and you don't necessarily have a budget and you can't necessarily hire somebody, go with 22 Social. It's the reason for that. You're leveraging social media. You're leveraging a squeeze page. You're able to do a lot of different things and make money simultaneously, and really be able to push the boundaries with regard to making money. Okay, that's the first tip. That's your first tip. Okay, so if you are somebody that has a little bit more disposable income, okay, and you're saying, Lee, I don't know what hosting is. I don't know what that means. What is hosting? I'm answering this question right now for a client of mine. What do you mean I need hosting? What do you mean? What is hosting? And it's like, well, you need hosting so that your actual website can be seen online. Why? And I'm like, well, that's just the way they set it up. That's just the way things are. Why? They why'd me. Why? And when I explain to people, why you need that light bulb doesn't come on, and it's like, oh, it's all a scam. It's all this. They're just out here trying to make money. No, it's not necessarily the case. Okay, that's just how it's been since for as long as I've been marketing online. And depending on where you get your URL name, whether it be Namecheap or GoDaddy or Name or whatever, wherever you get it from, you could actually host it from there as well. Okay, when you get to hosting, that allows you to either put up, you know, an HTML-based site, a Joomla site, a Drupal site, or WordPress. I've been using WordPress. And all those are what you call CMS-based platforms, which stands for Content Management System Platforms. If you don't know what all that is, don't worry about it. You can outsource. And there's an actual platform that you can use right now. You know, there's Elance, there's ODesk. There's even sites, you know, with those. I mean, right now, folks, I took a test, was it yesterday, day before, and wow, I was kind of shocked. I'm in the top 1% of Facebook. They consider me a Facebook expert, which is, I thought was pretty cool. I took their test, just kind of saying, hey, gauging what I know, where I'm at, and so on and so forth. I did very well on a couple of those tests, and you know, Facebook was one that stood out from social media. You know, I don't know what the little thing was, but top 3% for everybody that's on those, and I thought that was pretty unique. But you know what? It's taken me 7 years to understand all that. You don't have to. You want to know why? Because you want to immediately become a business owner in your business. And now I've thrown all these technical things at you. I've thrown all this hosting, WordPress, PHP, you know, CMS, all this stuff. What does all that mean anyway? You don't have to know that, folks. So let me be the first to tell you. Take that technician hat off right now. Take it off. You can hire somebody to do that for you. Okay, there are people who are experts. Let me quote Henry Ford here. Henry Ford, what does he have, like a 4th grade education? I mean, something like that. It's not very quote unquote by American standard or just standards in general. Didn't have a higher level education. And he, because of all the things that he was doing back in the early 1900s, he was tried. He was brought to court, you know, because he didn't have a certain education. It was a paradigm shift. And this is where I want you to initially think about what I'm saying. Go from being a technician and start thinking about being a business owner. Okay. He was taken to trial. He was asked all these questions about, you know, his education level. How can he hire all these people, all these things? Folks, do you realize Henry Ford, even though he wasn't an educated man, he was smart enough to understand that he can hire experts. He can hire educated people to work for him. He hired PhDs and engineers and industrial engineers and all these people. He actually sent his lead engineer, you know, the whole, you know, manufacturing line process came from a meat packaging plant, oddly enough. And where they figured out, hey, we can streamline this process, you can reduce the cost in cars, and thus all of us are enjoying the cars and the benefits from a manufacturing process that Henry Ford figured out with his lead engineer when they were trying to figure out how to make their cars cheaper and how to streamline the process. What did he do? That's so important, and why? I mean, I summarized it, so please don't quote me verbatim word for word. But what did he do that was a real paradigm shift? He took the car, the Model T, okay, and he literally, you know, was innovative. He offered something that was transportation. It went from horse and carriage to a motorized vehicle at this point. But then what he did is he took it a step further. He didn't just get comfortable and say, we're just going to kick these cars out. We're going to kick these cars and kick these cars out. I'm going to make money. There's supply and demand there, because the demand was there, but it wasn't at an affordable rate for everyone. So what did he do? He refined his manufacturing process, thus changing the way American manufacturing has been done forever. Henry Ford did that, folks. And you know what he did? He didn't think like a technician. He thought like a business owner. He leveraged all these smart people that worked for him to refine his process, to make better cars, to make a better process, to ensure that there would be a much better product or end product, which is overall cheaper, which has changed the way we all do things. Right now we have internet, we have, you know, cars, we have so many different things because of these refined processes. Henry Ford, in my opinion, was a true pioneer in real paradigm shift in understanding the differences in becoming and being a technician, which, you know, you're trying to figure out all these things, you're trying to figure out all this stuff, versus being a business owner, which is aligning yourself with smart people who are experts in their field who can help you get to where you need to go. And this is that paradigm shift now that we need to talk about. As I told you, because of the job I had, my whole mindset was I need to figure this out. I had to do this. I had to do that. Folks, there's a lot of things I've learned over the years that I am just not good at. I'm just not good at it, folks. I'm not good at quote unquote web development. I lost over 500 sites. It's not because I didn't do it correctly. It's because I didn't utilize some of these resources that I'm talking about with you, and I didn't back everything up properly. So I lost hundreds of websites because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't understand the process. So essentially, it cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars because of a whoopsies, and I left my network open and vulnerable to hackers. Okay, what's the lesson you can learn from that? You know, I was making money. I was still trying to maximize my return on investment because all those years I did it. I wasn't making, you know, I wanted to kind of pay myself back. But what happened? I lost all that income, and everything that I was doing, I was ramping up. And would you know that I lost all of that? Because I didn't think like a business owner. I didn't think, hey, how do I secure this stream of money that was coming in? I wasn't thinking like Henry Ford did. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you really how you can identify whether or not you're a technician versus a business owner. And that's this. All the processes that you're doing right now online, okay, do you understand everything? The answer should be probably not. If you understand everything, then you should be making hundreds of millions of dollars online right now. Most of you who are going to watch this, or most of you who's going to entertain the thought of what I'm saying right now, are making less than $1,000 a month. That's just a reality. That's just a hardcore truth of everybody that markets online is not 98% of those, and at least from the survey I've taken from some of my lists and some of the things that I've done, they are failing themselves because of the wrong mindset. And this is why I wanted to do this. Is this, folks? You get all these people that hammer you constantly with, hey, get this next plugin, get this theme, get this backlinking trick, get this SEO trick. Hey, there's this video thing, there's that. I mean, folks, every day there are literally tens, you know, I guess tens, hundreds, whatever you want to call it. They're literally, everybody every day is launching something that is going to redirect your focus from being a business owner. So here's what I suggest to you. First and foremost, and I want you to take a piece of paper right now. Real simple. I want you to draw a line right down the middle. On one side, I want you to, on one side I want you to write out, which is on the left side. On the right side, I want you to put in. I want you to write in. Okay. On the out, how much are you spending right now? How much are you spending right now? How much are you spending for, you know, a new PDF, a new ebook, a new plugin, a new theme, a new, you know, product? Write down how much you've spent in that column just this month or this year. How about that? Then, okay, that's going to take you a little while. So this is the task. Just remember, write out, write in. This is a real simple task. It's real easy. It's keeping it simple, and it's really identifying whether or not you're a business owner or a technician. When you, on the right side, you're looking at the in column. How much have you brought in? How much money have you brought into you? How much money has come to you? Are you making AdSense money? Are you making product sales? Are you bringing money in right now? Okay. So here's the determining factor right now. And ultimately, this is what it comes down to. In business, in marketing, in anything that you're doing, if you're bringing in more money than you're putting out, you're a business owner. You figured a process out. You've streamlined a process that's going to help you. Okay. If you are putting out more money than you're actually bringing in, then you're a technician. Oddly enough, this will make sense to you once you think about it. I'm going to tell you why I understand that. A few years ago, when I lost my network, I was still spending money on all these products, all these plugins, all these things. I was testing. Then I did my taxes, and I was breaking even for as many sites as I had. I was breaking even for the amount of products I was bringing in. And oddly enough, you know that even though the valuation of this network of sites that I had was pretty substantial, for me it was, you know, but would you realize that everything I was doing when I evaluated it afterward was I was still a technician in my business. I was a technician. And what does that mean? If you're trying to figure out, now this is where, again, now we're gonna paint the picture right now. Hopefully you did the out versus in. That's your first step. Okay, that'll immediately give you a snapshot. That'll be an instant snapshot of, holy crap, I'm a technician in my business. I'm really not a business owner yet. Okay, all right. So here's the next thing. How much money did you spend on those products, those services, those, you know, when I say services, you know, people say, hey, there's these done for you services that do this for you, do that for you. Is it making you any money? Did you get a return on investment? Did you buy a solo ad and sending it to a landing page? If you don't know what that is, don't worry, you can outsource it. Okay. If you're doing all that and you're spending all this money and you're not getting a return on investment, then you're a technician. Okay. So the business owner, here's the big difference. Here's when it all boils down to it. Here's the big difference in being a business owner versus being a technician in your business. A technician, and for any of you that can relate to that, well, you know, think about your mechanic. This is probably the best thing that I can really convey to you right now. A mechanic, when you take your car to a mechanic and you got their lead technician, their ASE certified technician, and they walk in, they got these brand new tools, they got these brand new, you know, diagnostic tools, they got all these pretty things. What is happening there that you should probably take note of? Well, that technician, they get all these tools to do the process, to actually perform a service. The business owner, he doesn't turn the wrench. He or she doesn't turn the wrench. They don't, you know, they hire that ASE certified guy. They pay a little bit more money, but then what's happening is that ASE certified mechanic, let's say, saying, I need this, 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 and this. A, B, C, and D to do my job effectively, to be a great ASE certified mechanic for you. Okay, as a business owner, those might be costs that you weren't thinking that you were going to have to take on. But as a business owner, you're going to write small checks to cash big checks. What does that mean? So you're going to go get these nice toolbox. That business owner is going to get these nice toolbox. They're going to get these nice diagnostic machines. They're going to get all these different things. So this ASE certified mechanic can work at peak levels. And what's happening? You're driving your car, and you, the consumer, is driving your car, and this ASE certified mechanic is looking at you with regard to, here you go, you know, I'm looking to get this service. I'm willing to spend X money, XXX money on this, and because I have an ASE certified mechanic, they're going to charge me X amount of money. You know that going in there, because if you have a hard down with your car, if you have something that's wrong with your car, if you have something that just isn't right with your car, what are you doing? When you go to this ASE certified mechanic, you know that you're getting somebody that can do the work for you regardless of what your car. So you're going to take on this cost. They're going to make recommendation. You're going to take on this cost. All the while, that business owner of that mechanic shop has provided all these tools for that ASE mechanic. That mechanic is in turn kicking these cars out, performing this service, doing these things for that business owner. And what's happening as a result? That business owner might kick out a little bit of money initially, okay? So his return on investment could be initially not very high, but through the duration of time, he's kind of going, and the next thing you know, it's like, holy crap, profit, profit, profit. He's just taking profits. So the difference, everyone, in being a technician versus a business owner is very big. A technician wants all these shiny tools. They want all these special things. They want all these things to essentially, you know, do the job better. And that's what that's something I didn't get initially until I got hacked. When I got hacked, I realized, I looked at the computer I was on at the time, and that thing was a digital library of products. I had customized themes, customized plugins, you know, this service, that service, all these things I paid for, developer rights on, all these things. Unfortunately, folks, even though I was taking major action, I was still trying to figure out all these things. All the while, all I was doing is, one, building these people's lists, two, building these people's downlines, or building their bottom line, getting them a higher return on investment, and three, I just turned into a loyal customer. Even though I was taking action myself, even though I was doing all the things to provide these services, I was still a technician in my business because I kept buying these products. I kept buying these things. I needed this next shiny thing. Even though I was taking action, it's kind of a fine line in understanding if you're a business owner versus a technician. And I was doing all these actions. I was testing these things out. When all the while, when I did that little test of out versus in, it was alarming to me for as much time. And folks, this is the biggest thing that a lot of you don't account for. That I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately, you don't account for your time. You have to pay yourself. If you're a business owner pays themselves. They understand it takes X amount of money to run their business because they're the thought leader, they're the action taker in that business. They understand that and they pay themselves for that. You have to account for that. A lot of you don't. I didn't, folks. I didn't account for my time. I did not count for my time. So when I out versus in, even though I was making X amount of money, what happened was, and this is where it really affected me, when I took what I was making on the hourly rate and I put it, actually, when I decided to say, hey, you know what, even though the marketing things are a little bit more expensive with regard to a service that you can, you know, offer to offline businesses, being a local business consultant, you know, this is what your hourly rate comes down to. Even if you know, what I did is I did that my hourly rate that I was doing work at the time at, and then what I say, you know what, I lowballed it. I took $20 off the top of that. And I was so far, I started to realize I was kicking out more money, considerably more money than I was taking in. I wasn't breaking even. At that point, I had an aha moment. Many of you should be having an aha moment right now. When you account for your time, you account for paying for these products, these services, these themes, this next shiny object, the next loophole, all these other things, you're going to see that as a result, you're losing money. You're actually losing money. You're a technician. You've got all these shiny tools. You got all these shiny things. You got all these shiny objects that you just had to have. Or what it all boiled down to was somebody wrote some great sales copy. They had a great copywriter that wrote good sales copy, and they promoted it. They got joint venture partners to promote this product. Next thing you know, you were part of that sales launch, that initial sales launch. They generated buzz. You bought into it because there's a lot of buzz behind it. Well, let me take it out of marketing terms for a sense, for being a technician versus a business owner. Let's just say a consumer. For all of you that are old enough to remember the iPhone launch, I do. I was that person that, you know, the iPhone, that they were billing it as it's going to revolutionize the way we do things online. This smartphone is going to revolutionize the way we do things online, and it has. It has, folks. You think we've never looked back since. Your phones. We all have touch screens now. We all, you know, have data rates that we have to pay. Where before our biggest concern was, are we going to go over these minutes? Are we going to go over these text messages? You know, now you worry about, am I going to have data overages and things like that? Actually, big difference. There you go. Two differences in phones, right there. So when that iPhone launch came out, as a consumer, now this really ties into the whole technician versus business owner mindset. Okay, when that came out, you saw the commercials, you heard all the radio talking about it, you saw, advertisement, you saw all these things happening simultaneously. What they were doing is they were building buzz. Steve Jobs and Apple and his whole humongous Apple recreated themselves with the iPod and then the iPhone. They recreated themselves. What happened as a result, folks? Tell me, what happened as a result? He revolutionized the way we all do business, the way we all interact with the internet, the way things happen with regard to our daily lives now. Steve Jobs is responsible for that. It's like Henry Ford. Henry Ford revolutionized the way manufacturing was done and revolutionized, the car building process. Excuse me, folks. The car building process and the manufacturing process. What can you learn from these two pioneers that I'm telling you right now, that I'm conveying to you right now? They stopped thinking like a technician. They started thinking like a business owner. They leveraged those smart people that they hired to be innovative and offer products and services. Excuse me. So now, what am I saying to you here? Technician, business owner. Which one are you? Did you do that exercise? How much are you putting out? How much are you taking in? All right. So now, hopefully, that's giving you kind of a real snapshot. You did your initial snapshot of, holy crap, I'm actually a technician in my business. That's alarming, because when I do that exercise with any of my clients or any of these students that I have, that's the first thing that I have them do, just so you guys know. Fold that paper in half, write out on one side, write in on the other, and have them do, I set the timer for about 15 minutes. All right. Laser targeted focus, laser targeted action, do it. You will be alarmed at how much money you're spending, because you're not accounting for your time. Okay, so how do you get over that? How do you take this video and you run with it and say, you know what, Lee, you're right, I am a technician in my business. I'm not making as much money as I should. How should I go about doing it? Well, one, have you figured out exactly what you want to offer your product, or what type of services you want to offer to the public? Me, I like doing these videos. I like doing education. I mean, I'm slowly building up a channel. I have the resources to actually take this channel to another level. I'm organically building this. I'm providing content, providing information, letting people interface with my videos in my Hangouts more effectively. All right. The second thing is, like I said, I could be just like any kind of guerrilla marketers, folks. If I wanted, like right now after this, if I wanted, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 views, I can get them really, really quickly. You know why? Because I think like a business owner now. That technician guy doesn't exist anymore. I do this now because I want to help people, and I want to show people that, hey, you can interface with this content. Everything that you've seen that's on my channel, for the most part, is internet marketing related, except for the last couple lectures. I wanted to talk about how to overcome. Today I want to talk about, hey, are you a technician in your business, or are you a business owner? Me, as a business owner, my whole idea is to provide you and really establish content and give you something that's going to an authority in your eyes. That's what my thoughts are as a business owner. When I put out a product, you're going to think, holy crap, he's only charging this much money for it. Why is he charging so little? Let me buy that product. Let me gulp that up. Because right now I'm working on two products. I'm working on a LinkedIn product, and I'm working on a YouTube product, oddly enough. How to get on the first page of Google and stay there without backlinks. Okay, I'm doing that now for hundreds of videos, and that's where I found out my why. Okay, so which leads me to this. Okay, when you're a technician, if you're kicking out more money and you're buying all the next shiny things, you're opening your email and you're reading all these things and all that. Let me tell you something, as a business owner versus technician mindset. Here's the first difference in the two. And I want you to do this today. I want you to do this today. All right? Go in whatever email that comes your way. Rather than looking at it from an opportunity standpoint of, hey, should I buy this? Or, I'm going to miss out. Or folks are going to introduce scarcity because, a lot of these products that are going to be offered, they're going to be offered again. Okay, just so you know, they're going to be offered by somebody else. They're going to be revised, and they're going to be done in a way that's going to help you, regardless of what. Whoever's doing it now, look at the iPhone. The iPhone was initially launched to the public. Right now, I have a Samsung. Okay, you have the LG, you have the Microsoft phones, you have all these different things. Okay, there's gonna be something that's gonna come out that's gonna be innovative. Okay, understand that. Okay, just because you don't hit a launch and you don't get that best price for it, that's okay. They're introducing scarcity so you can think that, oh, I gotta pick this up. I can't miss out on this. That's what the whole marketing launch is about, folks. Think of the iPhone. They launched it. That thing was the best-selling product in history. Think about it for a second. That's how marketing. That's how a lot of these things do. They generate the buzz. They get people that are joint venture partners on board. Next thing you know, these people are cashing major checks. Their bottom line is ramping up because they established a fair amount of buzz. So, with that being said, you technicians out here, how can you work around that? Okay, first thing, putting that business owner mindset on. Today, I want you to put 10 minutes on the clock. There's another thing. Write this down. Write 10 minutes or put 10 minutes on the clock. I want you to go through your emails for 10 minutes. And I want you to scroll down. I want you to actually take note of which emails actually catch your attention. Seriously. I don't want you to go on there and read them. I don't want you to deviate. I want you to just go scroll down in your email and see which headlines caught your attention. Next thing, okay, after you do that for 10 minutes, I want you to hit star. I use Gmail. That's one I do. If you use Yahoo, star it, okay? Or capture the headline, tick them, whatever you do, okay? Take account for those in that 10 minutes. You can use 5 minutes. You don't need to do 10 minutes, but I say 10 minutes because if you do it for 10 minutes, if you can do it for 5 minutes and laser targeted focus, go through just initially. Maybe do it for 5 minutes. I say 10 minutes. Yeah, that's probably too much time. Go for 5 minutes. How about that? You go through and see which emails capture your attention in 5 minutes. Actually, do it for a minute. And when you actually go through and you see that, what happens as a result, you're going to see these headlines. You're going to see which of these emails are actually capturing your attention. So as a technician in your business versus a business owner in your business, you're doing what? There's a paradigm shift that's happening. Those people who are okay. Thank you. See, that's the great part about working online like this. And you can talk to my dad, and everybody that's just watching this, he can say hi, and I can interface with you guys. So with the technician, versus the business owner mindset in your business, you took that action. You saw what was, what caught your eye. So when you do that, what I want you to do is I want you to set 5 minutes. So I know I said 10 minutes. I reduced it to 5 and then 1 minute. So maybe the first minute, go through, you capture all these different headlines that caught your attention. And then I want you to do is go back. I say 10 minutes because anybody, that's a good brainstorming session that allows you to kind of survey your landscape with obviously your email account. Really, folks, do it for a minute. Let's just make this simplistic. Let's take laser targeted focus, because a lot of you, with me telling you that, a lot of people are going to deviate. They're going to forget about, hey, what was I doing in the first place? They're going to get lost. So I want you to put 1 minute on your timer. I want you to put it on there, and I want you to go through your email, and I want you to, whatever emails catch your attention, tick them, or star them. And when you do that, you're going to identify something that's really important to you. Okay, one, if you actually thought those were important, more than likely a lot of people thought those were important, and they're going to open those. Okay, so what I want you to do as a business owner right now, so hopefully a lot of you are capturing names and email addresses to build a list to drip on to market to these people. That's what just happened to you by you identifying that. You go through, and for 5 minutes, all those messages you checked, I want you to go through and read them, or copy them for that matter. Highlight the whole message, open a notepad document, text document for those of you who don't know what that is, and or Word document, whatever, and paste it in there. 5 minutes, that's it. No more than 5 minutes. You go through, you read the message. What just happened there? Okay, as a technician or opportunity seeker, or somebody who is looking to take that next level in your business, from going from being a technician to a business owner, you just did something that is really powerful. You took what somebody already wrote out there as their hard work. They've already copywrote. They had somebody copyright that email. They already had somebody put that together to entice you with that title, with enticing you with that the sales copy, the email copy, and you thought it was good enough to open. So at that point, what you can do is you can start as a business owner. You can do that every day. Do a 1 minute, 5 minute, and just literally start to if it's under a certain product range, or if it's something you're doing for marketing, start to capture those emails. Who cares if you copied their emails, folks? It doesn't matter. They're kicking those emails out there because they're looking to get mass. They're going to send that email out depending on how big their list is, depending on how much their open rate is, and they're going to get people just like you to open it, whether you realize it or not. And they're banking on the fact that, let's just say 40%, let's just say this, let's just say 1,000 people are on this person's email list. Let's just say they get a 40% open rate. That's 400 people. Let's just say that out of those 400 people, 1% take action. That means 4 people are going to take action on that offer. And boom, they got 4 sales. Okay, you see the difference in what I'm talking about right now? So when you take that action right now as a business owner, you can initially start to align yourself with what is selling, what are they conveying in their email messages, and you can start to immediately start really getting your own email strategies on how people are wording things, how they're doing it, how they're putting it out there. And as you're putting out your products and your services and your videos and things like that, or whatever it is you're offering to the public, you can immediately start to develop email sequences. That's a whole other subject entirely. Okay, that's one way initially to really stop being an opportunity seeker / technician in your business and going immediately to the business owner side and start using it as a competitive analysis tool to start really surveying the landscape on what is important and what should you be saying to the people on your actual your emails. Okay, that's one of the first things. Remember, out versus in. Are you putting out more time, effort, money than you're actually taking in? When you do this simple little task once a day, and I don't suggest opening it up and reading these emails. I'm talking about open these up, survey it for about a minute, pull the ones you like, open those up. If you like the email message, copy, paste it. Have your own. Start to develop your own email sequences for sales. Okay, if just for something like that. Okay, so that's just one of the tips. And okay, so as far as all that goes, folks, I don't want this lecture to go on forever. I really don't. But this is like the first in my series. I'm actually putting out a book right now, and this is one of the actual chapters that I talk about in there, which is, hey, are you a technician? Are you a business owner in your business? Okay, and hopefully some of you that have watched this today, maybe some of these action steps that I've provided for you or that I've shared with you, hopefully you're taking those literal. Okay, last thing, food for thought here. Okay, being a technician versus being a business owner. Folks, just remember, write small checks that are going to help you to cash big checks. What does that mean? When you go and you have the mindset of literally wanting to make money online. Let's just say that you found a JV product. Say you want a JV with somebody that's going to be offering this amazing product. How are you going to stand out from the crowd? Okay, you're going to put up a squeeze page. You're going to send traffic to it, so on and so forth. How are you different than everybody else? Can you be different than everybody else? Okay, Or are you? Or a lot of people just send it directly to the squeeze page or building somebody else's list, and it's not beneficial all the way around. It's really people actually test that theory out, but a lot of them have bigger budgets to work with. Okay, that's the first and foremost. Okay, what I'm saying to you today is, let's just say, I'm going to give you an action step. I'm going to give you some homework here. I'm going to give you some action steps I want you to take here. I want you to go on ODesk or Elance today. And I want you to start pricing how much it would cost for a landing page or a squeeze page to be done for you. Price it. Just price it. Just see how much it actually is going to cost you. Just look through them. Go to freelancer.com. When you go through those three sources, what are you going to see there? You're going to see experts. Remember Henry Ford here. Remember Henry Ford. Remember Steve Jobs here. Henry Ford, even though he wasn't a highly educated man, he had PhDs working for him. He had engineers working for him. He was able to get the most out of them to build that V8. Essentially, that V8 engine was created because he pushed the boundaries with those people that he hired to do this, and eventually has changed the way motors are. Not just cars, but the V8, the V10, the V12, all those motors. I don't know all that stuff, but I know the V8 was changed because all his people told him it can't be done, it can't be done, it can't be done. And you know what? Henry Ford got them to actually accomplish that feat. All right. So what I'm saying to you today, do something simplistic. Okay. You took the action steps of going into your email, seeing what's important. Okay. You're getting an email sequence. You're going to get something that you can communicate with your audience. Okay. You get a baseline. That's the first business. That's the first business owner hat that you put on. Hopefully, you took the out versus in challenge. You did that. But when you go on those outsourcing forums, folks, there will be somebody that can help you. There will be somebody that can put something together for you and do it to meet your budget. I will assure you, there's somebody in the world that can do that for you. Okay? There are going to be people that can go in there, and let's just say you want to jump on something that's coming down the pipeline later on this month, and it's going to be an amazing launch, and you got to do it, and you got to jump on it, and so on and so forth. What if I told you can go hire somebody, say you spent $100 bucks? I don't know what the price is going to be. I don't see the quotes out there, but you have somebody put together a squeeze page for you. And they have an offer that is rediverted. So basically, you go through and you're offering the next best thing, next shiny object in the world that's got to be had, but you're just aligning yourself with a product that's going to be coming out. Somebody goes through and they click your link. Okay, next thing, before I get into that, so price that out. The next thing is, folks, if you think about it, what are people doing to get you to buy? They're sending tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of traffic. They're getting multiple amounts of people to actually check that out. So when you do that, when they take that action, what happens as a result? The numbers game. They know that they send this to this many people are going to open it, this many people are going to take action. Eventually, as a business owner, they stop buying all these products. They stop doing all these things. They just start to promote their business. They start taking action that's going to build their business. Okay, so things I'm telling you, like checking your email, going through and checking Elance or ODesk or whatever the case, going through and seeing how you can actually separate yourself from the crowd and being able to offer them something that is different. If you're not a techie person, those spots, ODesk, Elance, Freelancer, they have a lot of people on there that can help you who are experts in their field. Okay, they know this stuff. You don't have to spend your time and your effort. Remember that out versus in, model that I've talked about. So I've jumped, even though it's jumped around, and I've given you a couple examples. Hopefully, for those of you, as you're buying products and you're making the decision today to align yourself with something that you're probably going to get confused with, that you're going to probably get frustrated with, that you're going to probably more than likely allow that to sit in your laptop or tablet or your phone, and it's going to turn into digital dust, because that's what most people do. They just don't take action. Why? Because of they get paralysis by analysis. Some of these people, remember, they put these products out. They're saying, hey, I made this hundreds of millions of dollars, thousands, quadrillions, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, whatever exaggeration they're going to use. Remember, all these people did this. Every one of the tests they did were not winners. Please understand that. Everything that they did was not a winner. Not every one of them was. So their case studies that they were doing, some of them were just duds. Some of them, some of them were exceptional. Some of them were making them even more money than they expected. So then when they did that and they got these things tested out, then they were able to really generate the buzz, send it to you as a consumer, and say, hey, here's the next shiny object. Jump on my buyer list. I'm going to promote more products as a joint venture partner, i.e. what I'm telling you to do. Hey, as you start making more money and you understand the paradigm shift, when you go from shiny object seeker / technician in your business to business owner / action taker, what happens? There's a really, really fine line. And that fine line, folks, is understanding a process. So things I'm shared with you today about checking your email, going on ODesk, things like that, those are things that are going to help your business. If you don't know how to do those things, price them out. If you have the money to do it, price it out. Okay? Stop spending money on things that you're not going to use, that you're going to use sparingly, and you're just not going to use it. I'm telling you right now, folks, I was one of those people when I first started, because I started on the wrong foot. I started taking all this, I need this, I need that, I need this, and it's ridiculous to think of how much money I spent. I spent over $150,000 in the last 7 years. It's more pushing up to $200,000 now. But over the last 2.5 years since I got hacked, I don't do that stuff anymore. I don't spend money on things I just don't need. I spend money on traffic. I spend money on getting things done for me now. I don't spend money on oh, I need this page, or I need this theme, or I don't do that anymore. You shouldn't either. Okay? If you want to be a business owner, you got to turn into an action taker that understands the fundamentals of what they need done. Hire somebody to get it done for you, folks. Write small checks to cash big checks. You want to go from being a technician to a business owner, you have to understand the difference between the two. All right? I hope you guys have a great day. I know I didn't answer this completely in depth, and I wasn't expecting to. I was really only wanting to really touch on this, but really offer you all some sound thoughts, food for the day. Food for thought here. Okay, so if you want to be a business owner, stop doing the technician-based things, buying all these plugins, these themes, these shiny objects, this next ebook. Stop spending money on stuff like that. How about you go on Elance, go to ODesk, go to Freelancer, and say, hey, look, I need to put this up. I'm looking to establish this. I'm looking to get this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. There are people out there that will help you. Okay, that's why they do these in escrow. That's why they do these to where these people can offer you top-notch products and services. When you're doing it from, buying things from JVZoo, ClickBank, Warrior Forum, things like that. These are people just like yourself who figured it out. They stopped becoming a technician, and they made that switch to becoming a business owner because they started taking action. They start leveraging their time and their effort, and they start to realize that all these times, because there's a lot of people, I was one of them, I spent hours, I would spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours working. You know what happened? I became counterproductive. And probably many of you were counterproductive as well. You didn't set out goals. You didn't start at the beginning of the day to, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I need to get this done. Like today, first objective was to get this video done. Second objective is to finish my course. Third objective is to actually do something else that I can't really talk about. But so those are my 3 objectives today. So if I finish those early, great, then I'm done for the day. Okay. Running a business does not mean that you have to work 14, 15, 16 hours a day in your business. It just doesn't, folks. Okay, the last food for thought, and I know I told you before it was the last one, but this is what I want you all to understand. What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What do you like to do? When people tell you to, hey, really put stuff around, if you're going to do products, services, things like that, what is it something that you have a passion in? For me, I found out what my why was. For those of you who don't know what my why is, and I found out after I got hacked, folks. My why is to educate a macro community that funds a micro community that feeds a community. So what that means is I want to educate people, and I'm doing it right now. I'm giving you a general education. You know, whether you agree with everything or not, I'm educating you. I'm trying to save you time and effort, right? Mistakes, okay? But also my mission is to help provide enough info that can help build a macro community. That's why now I create products. I'm a product creator now. I never thought I would be a product creator when I first started doing this. I was so intimidated by it. Now it's like there's so many things I want to create products on. It's ridiculous. You know. The next thing is when I start to help people build their businesses, make money, they can help people make money. So if I can help you, save you some time, some effort, and you know, really help to develop your mindset, your strategy, your mindset, you can build that macro community. That, you know, you're funding. Remember, educate a macro community that funds a micro community. So if I help you to develop a mindset, action steps, you know, I didn't necessarily detail it. I'm just lecturing today. But if I give you all the tools necessary to do that, what happens? You make some money. You're going to start helping the other folks. That's your micro community. Remember, that macro community that funds a micro community, that feeds a community. So you start helping other people in that macro community. You're going to help. My mission is as many people as I can help. This is essentially what it looks like. As many people that I can help. I'm funneling all this information it's filtering into that macro community. I start educating the people from the, you know, you're only strong. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And there's people out there that, hey, you might not understand what I'm talking about. There are going to be people out there who are like, man, that makes sense. You know, many of you, if you've been working online for any length of time, you're going to say, man, Lee, you're making sense here, man. I completely relate to you. I completely understand. Okay? So that's my mission. That's my why. So once I figured out my why, since then I've written 7 books. I have 3 more in the pipeline. I have 9 products out right now, with 2 in the pipeline, actually more in the pipeline than that. And, you know, I'm marketing now. I'm doing things from a business owner mindset that is very different than a technician. I no longer buy products. I look at products now from a standpoint of, do I want to align myself with that product, and do I want to promote that product? That's just me. Okay? Only because if it's not something you absolutely can't do without, if you're not absolutely, you know, if let's just say you get this theme that's going to help you build sales and all this stuff. Well, if your intention is not to take that theme, put it up and put it to use, and then drive tons of traffic to it, why are you buying it? You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to take this plugin and you're not going to test it, you put it up or you do this plugin and you drive major traffic to it, immediately, as soon as you do it, what are you doing? You're still a technician. You're not necessarily building your business. Okay? Think about it that way. Think about it from a standpoint of your time, your effort, whether or not it's really worth it to you to, you know, buy something like that or to invest in it. For me, the products I do right now, I've aligned myself with the Udemy community. I have one out on JVZoo. It's for these people like the one, it's called Social Tap. You go on JVZoo right now, see Social Tap. I put that together. Most people, they put these products out there, right? And then they're gonna tell you, hey, align yourself with this you know, this plugin, this theme, all this stuff. Folks, I put it out about Facebook marketing and giving nothing but free resources in aligning with 22 Social, 19 modules, 49 pages. I only charge $7 for it. I'm doing it because, hey, you know, everybody can use a step up. All right? That's the difference now. Yeah, everything's not going to be perfect, but just remember, write small checks to cash big checks. And when you do that, you're going to start bringing in more money than you're putting out. And when you do that, the shift changes. It actually, the tide changes for you within your business. You stop becoming an opportunity seeker / technician, and you go becoming an action taker / business owner. And your bank account, remember, the only difference between a technician and a business owner, and the only true indicator, it's not what I'm telling you. It's not what somebody else is going to tell you. It's your bank account. Your bank account is going to be the truest indicator of whether or not you're a business owner or you're a technician in your business. All right. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in on this. If you attended this, if you catch this on YouTube, or if you check this out on on Google Plus or whatever the case, think about what I said to you today. I dropped some pearls in your pot. I dropped some mental pearls on you today, folks. Stop being a technician. Be a business owner. Take the action step. Learn from these gurus. Learn from Henry Ford. Learn from Steve Jobs. Take that step of hold that piece of paper in half, right out on one side, right in on the other. Hold yourself accountable. When you want to actually get, when you actually start saying, hey, I want to build a list, go through and check your emails. What has gotten you to open up emails? Take that minute, survey your landscape. Take 5 minutes after that, boom, you take those email messages, bam, you have instant email messages that you can start marketing with. And the third, look on Elance, ODesk, Freelancer, any of those. If you need something done, let somebody do it. Stop trying to figure it out and failing and getting frustrated. Okay? Stop doing that. All right. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys understand the difference now being a business owner versus a technician. If you're doing internet marketing, if you want to take internet marketing and use it to your advantage, make sure that you're starting to you have the right mindset. Make sure that you're taking the right actions, and start becoming a business owner. Start writing small checks to cash big checks. All right. You guys have a great day. I wish you nothing but success. All right. Folks, just like I say all the time, you guys understand my why now, but this is my motto in life. I wish you all love, peace, ease of mind, health, wealth, and happiness. You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one.